Hello Superset Maniacs and welcome back to my channel. Ronnie Coleman at the 2003 Mr. Olympia versus Big Ramy at the 2020 Mr. Olympia is a bodybuilding comparison that I'm pretty sure most of you have seen it already on this channel or not, but what are we going to do in this video is have this comparison, but not with still photos but with video footage. I'm pretty sure you haven't seen this one yet, at least not in this format I'm bringing you right now. Both of them hitting the 8 mandatories side by side and in sync with each other. These videos are pretty time consuming to edit, so if you guys appreciate the effort, liking this video is the best way to show your appreciation. Thank you guys, you are the best. 2003 Ronnie Coleman overshadows pretty much every other bodybuilder in terms of muscle mass, but not necessarily Big Ramy as you're about to see in this video. Before we begin, you'll have to excuse the quality of the footage. Unfortunately, this is what I could find. If you guys ever find HD footage of any kind, feel free to message me on Instagram at @thesupersetman. And we start this comparison by looking at the front double biceps, and yes, while Ronnie's guns may be difficult to overcome, we can observe that Ramy is the wider guy with a better taper and, very important, a controlled midsection. If there's something you can take away from Prime King Coleman, is his midsection. But he was so freaky big and so peeled that his unaesthetic midsection passed unpenalized every time. I'm not sure that would be the case in this social media age though. You can ask Phil Heath. Anyway, back to the pose. Ronnie wins the guns, the overall details and conditioning, while Big Ramy, looks wider, bigger and more aesthetic at the same time. The only way I can see Big Ramy winning this pose though is if we penalize Ronnie's distended midsection, but I don't think this is the case, so Ronnie Coleman takes this first pose. Moving on to the front lat spread pose, I want to mention that throughout this video, if you believe Big Ramy should look taller in comparison to Ronnie, have in mind that he tends to lean down more from his knees. These two have two of the most impressive front lat spread poses of all time, but we can observe that Ronnie's midsection hurts him again. Just look how much better Big Ramy looks with his stomach in check. Big Ramy is also wider and executes this pose in a more effective way, so he's getting the point for this second pose. We move on to the side chest pose, and this should be a good one, and yes, you see it. You see how much Big Ramy leans down from his knees. Once again, Big Ramy seems to be more inspired with the execution. He wins that side leg probably because of that. As Ronnie as well should have a good hanging hamstring, but he just prefers to hit this pose like that. Upper body though, Ronnie Coleman looks so much rounder and fuller throughout his shoulders, arms and chest. He also looks drier than Big Ramy. So aside from the side leg, where I would give the nod to Big Ramy, Ronnie Coleman simply dominates Big Ramy in this pose, so he gets another point. As we turn to the back, I don't think anyone expects Ronnie Coleman to have problems. He's known for having arguably the best back ever, and yes, Big Ramy is hopeless in this pose against him, both from a detail point of view, but also because of the lower lat insertions, the biceps, and lower body as well. This is pure domination from King Ronnie Coleman, but he would do this to probably anyone else. It's not all on Big Ramy. Ronnie Coleman is just too good in the back poses. While we're waiting for them to hit the other back pose, the back lat spread, it's worth mentioning Big Ramy's width advantage over Ronnie Coleman again. Ronnie is not narrow, not at all, but Big Ramy is just wide as a house, which might help him in this back lat spread pose. Look at that. He definitely has the size advantage over Ronnie Coleman in this pose. Who else can claim that? No one, I'm telling you. However, size is not all in this pose. Ronnie's back is more balanced, he presents better details, better muscle thickness, his traps are more dominant than Ramy's, especially in the upper region, but this is also due to the way they are executing this pose. Ronnie Coleman also wins downstairs, he's got the better hams, the better calves, and the more striated glutes. Ronnie Coleman inevitably wins the rear lat spread pose as well. We're moving on to the side triceps, and you guys know this ain't one of Ronnie Coleman's best poses. He actually has only two weaker poses, one is the side triceps and the other one is the abs and thighs. His side tri pose is hurt by his pretty flat lateral head of the triceps, which is the focal point in this pose. Ronnie always looked uncomfortable in this pose, he knew it wasn't his best pose. On the other hand, Big Ramy does not have the best triceps either, but he compensates with a way better execution and again with the superior side leg, which in this pose, it's enough for him to get the point in my opinion. Abs and thighs, and first of all, we're dealing with two of the best pairs of thighs of all time. Ramy's huge quads overshadow even Ronnie Coleman, but Ronnie presents the way better details, and you could also argue that Big Ramy's quads may be actually too big, thus ruining the flow of his physique. Ronnie has the more defined abs, but unfortunately they have that gap in the middle and look like they are spilling out, while Ramy's stomach looks nice and flat. Big Ramy scores another point in this comparison. So until now, after 7 poses, Ronnie's got 4 and Big Ramy 3 wins, but as it looks like in this pose, the most muscular, Big Ramy won't be getting a tie in this comparison. Ronnie Coleman is rounder and also more conditioned, yes, it's visible in spite of the poor video quality. Just like in the front double, you could penalize Ronnie for his stomach, but other than that, it's pure domination from the king, even against a being like Big Ramy. So yes, Ronnie Coleman beats Big Ramy in this comparison. I don't think this is to anyone's surprise. However, I personally was impressed by how big and wide Big Ramy actually is. He even overshadows the great Ronnie Coleman in many poses. However, aside from the sheer mass, Ronnie Coleman had that paper-thin skin and muscle quality that I believe Big Ramy will never achieve, this being a genetic thing. What do you guys think about this comparison? Did you enjoy it? If you did, don't forget to leave this video a like and a comment. Also subscribe to the channel if you want to stay updated. This is Super Set Man. Thank you guys and see you next time.